open the book. She says, she's reading, I'm quoting, page 261 of the satanic verses. White women, never mind fat, Jewish or non-differential. White women were for fucking and throwing over. This is, I'm reading page 261 of the satanic verses. That she is reading to the public and the boy is listening. White women, no mind fat, means, you know, they look like a bag of potatoes, you know, sexually not very, very desirable. Or Jewish with a poly nose, crooked nose, don't worry. Non-differential, you can't make out the difference whether she is Swiss or German or French or English, what? You can't make out the difference. The only qualification is she must be white. If she is white, they are way for and throwing away. So this young man, he hears, and he's out for mischief with 5 other friends of his. He is going to the Central Park in New York. A white woman, very athletic, she's doing jogging, she wants to keep herself fit and trim. So they see her and it triggers the fellow off. This is it, man. The Bible says, satanic Salman's satanic verses says, white women, no man fat, Jewish or non-differential. This is nice and trim. So they go for her like a pack of wolves. And one fellow bashes her on the head and she falls unconscious. And they gang raped her one by one. And when they're caught, they said that the pleasure that they got in the sweat and the blood and the gore, it titillated the taste. You're programming people, can't you see? With filth. This is how you program, create devils and morons. Brainwashing, they're being brainwashed. You want this to be read to your mother, your sister, your wife and your daughter, and you Penguin Viking, Peter Mayer of Penguin Viking, you gave this fellow $800,000 to tell the world that your mother, your wife, your sister and your daughter, they were for and thrown away. What has happened to you? How did he bewitch you? What has he done to you? How did he do it? Shouldn't you ask him? Shouldn't you ask anybody, how do you do it? When our white rulers were shown that, they said, no, ban the book. What are you doing? You're going to program people. They will be looking for white women. Wherever they say white women, do you know what they are for? So they went what is called wilding. On the 8th of May, Times Magazine, if you can lay your hands on it, it says wilding, new word. They invented a new word. Means they went wild, they went berserk. Like a pack of wolves smelling blood. What are you doing? What are you doing to the world, to mankind? And Mrs. Thatcher, just recently, I'm reading this, Monday, September 11th, Maggie says no to sex investigation. I don't know whether you read in your newspapers. Dateline from London again. She says no to sex investigation in Britain. There is a society or a body, it says Mrs. Thatcher has said no to plans for the biggest ever investigation into the sexual habits of Britons. They want to know the preferences of the British men and women in sex. This is no, Maggie says no, you shall not do that. I admire her for that. By God, I admire her. She's Muslim. She's Muslim-like. Maybe she's reading the Quran. Because Allah tells us in the Quran, evil should not be noised abroad, broadcast, except where injustice has been done. Because once you say things, there are things you can insinuate and you can program people. Like this. Look how easily people can be programmed. British girls are too easy. British girls, I'm reading from Sunday Times, one of the leading newspapers, Sunday newspapers in South Africa, dated July 9th. It says, British girls are too easy. Latin lovers reckon there's no skill in chatting up British girls because it's too easy to get them into bed. The Italian stallions, in the holiday resort of Rimini hold a Playboy of the Year contest, earning points for each girl they make love to. They have a contest. Prim, Catholic Italian girls merit 10 points. If you get a prim Catholic Italian girl, if you get her into bed, 10 points for a bonk. One bonk, you get 10 points. French girls, if you can bed a French girl, you get 6 points. And if you bed a German Fräulein, you get 5 points. But British tourists are worth just 1 point. What are you doing? Your daughters, your sisters, when they go overseas, every guy's doing, say, man, this is the easiest meat. What you doing? Even if they're not. Now everybody is making approaches. Like a beach in season. That every British girl is like a beach in season. Anybody comes, anything goes. This is what the guys are saying. You want to have a sex survey here? Here, September 16, 1989, The Economist, your news magazine, The Economist, says a woman was raped on a London tube. You know, your underground. She was raped. So they carried out a survey, and a survey showed that only 24% of women thought the tube safe during the day, during the daytime. Only 24% of women thought the tube safe during the daytime, and only 1% at night. You know what they're telling you? This is semantics, playing with words. They're telling you that 99% of your mothers and your sisters and your daughters are terrified at night. 99%. But they say only 1% feel safe. Instead of saying 99% feel unsafe. The masters of language. This is how they do it. You want the world to know? You want to take statistics? Dr. Kinsey, the American, he did it. The Life of the American Female. The Life of the American Female by Dr. Kinsey. I read it. I read it. But I will not allow my wife to read. Fortunately, she can't. But I will not definitely allow my daughter to read. Why? Because by reading that stuff, it's going to pollute their minds. It'll give them filthy, dirty ideas which they could never have imagined. I can't give you details because it might create the same problems. I will not share it with you, what I read. Dr. Kinsey's Life of the American Female. If you read it, it's the same. The British female is the same. The French female is the same. The German female is the same. On the average, it'll be the same. Gives you ideas. Filthy, dirty things. Mrs. Margaret Thatcher is wise. She says, no, you shall not do it. I take off my hat to her. By God, she's acting as a Muslim. This is Islam. These things you don't do. And even what they call, this is royal gossip that even British rags won't publish. Look, they have certain standards. You know, rags, British rags, these rotten papers, filthy, dirty newspaper, they talk about all the filth and the dirt, pornographic thing. And bigger headline, not even Britain's notorious gutter press. You have a gutter press here? Even notorious gutter press dares to print the story Yanks have read. The Americans have been reading. What? Mum's the word about Zara's dad. Mum's the word. Keep quiet. Don't utter anything about who is the father of Zara. Who is Zara? She is the daughter of Princess Annie. Now they're insinuating that she is the bastard child of Peter Cross, who was her bodyguard. 8 years ago, he committed adultery with her, and he got this child, which was given out to the world as the child of Peter Phillips. But she was not. She is a bastard child by Peter Cross. The picture is given. The princess is there. The princess is there. And the dashing detective is there, behind the princess. What are you doing? What are you insinuating? You are destroying the life of a child. Can't you see? One child. You are insinuating that she is a bastard child. She is a bastard child. At school now, 8-year-old girl, wherever she goes, if she's cross or angry about something, he says, I know why you are cross. Zara, I know why you're cross. Because you are the daughter of Peter Cross. And I say, look at her, look at the picture. Maybe she was sullen or in a moody, this thing. Here, they give you a picture where she's sullen, she's moody. He said, you see, she's cross because she's the child of Peter Cross. And this starts where it started in Britain. One of your leading newspaper men here, the doyen of British newspapers, of the Daily Mail, columnist, Nigel Dempster, he goes to America and he makes these insinuations. He said Mr. Dempster was offering his expert opinion on the recently announced separation of Annie from her Mark Phillips, her husband, the undisputed father of Annie's son, Peter, age 11. Undisputed. He's got it blood tested. Can you imagine? He says now he's undisputed. How do you know he's undisputed? But now he's undisputed. He's giving the guarantee that the 11-year-old boy is undisputed his father's son. Asked by an interviewer to explain the breakup of the marriage, Mr. Dempster said the problems dated back to the birth of Zara and cited long-standing allegations of an affair at that time between Annie and a dashing detective, Peter Cross, who was then her bodyguard. The newspaper says it's an old trick. Get the story published over here, means in America, first, and then you can write about it at home in England. You say, you know, the Americans say, I'm not saying anything. The American newspaper said that Zara is the bastard child of Peter Cross. Can you do that? In the house of Islam, can you get away with that? By God. But this we want to protect, we want to help you, we want to teach you, but you can't teach, you can't help if you don't know the book yourself. We don't know our own book. We don't know the games that they're playing to be warned. Once you know, you can deal with the matter better. We are told, Allah tells in the Quran, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu, say, oh you who believe, Ajtanibu kathiran min adh-dhann. Say, avoid of much of suspicion as possible. Inna ba'da dhanni ithmun, because in most cases suspicion is a sin. Wala tajassasu, and do not spy upon one another. Wala yaghtab ba'dukum ba'da, and do not backbite or slander one another. Ayuhibbu ahadukum an yakula lahma akhihi maytan. Is there a single one of you? Is there one of you who's prepared to eat the meat of his dead brother? That's what you are doing. The person is not there to defend himself or herself. You are eating your dead brother's meat or your dead sister's meat. Allah is asking, is there one of you who's prepared to do that? Eat his dead brother's meat. Even cannibals don't do that. They love your meat, love my meat, but not his brother, and carry and dead meat at that. فَكَرِهْتُمُوهُ, says stop. Nay, they will abhor it. Unko karahat hogi, karahat. They wouldn't like it. Wattaqullah, say, fear Allah. Stop it. Inna Allah wa tawwabur rahim. Even now, Allah is of forgiving, most merciful. Jo ho gaya to ho gaya. What has happened in the past has happened. Stop it. No more. This is barbaric. This is barbaric teaching. These are satanic verses. The Hadith says these are satanic verses. This is satanic. Is this satanic? Or you are satanic? Who is satanic? What is satanic? No, the trouble is also with us. We have let the Quran down. We don't know our own book. This ayah, how many of us have read? How many of us are trying to live by it? Very few. You know why? We are not programmed with it. To be programmed, you read, and you become aware and implement it in your life. This was from Surah Hujurat, again, chapter 49, ayah number 12. Don't spy, don't snoop, no snooping, no slander. This guy, he spares nobody. He spares nobody. There's some type of sickness. I think there's a special word for it. A man who hates everybody, anybody, everybody. Even himself. If you read, he hates even himself. There's something sickness. He is a case for a psychiatrist. But he is an evil genius for writing. And there are conspirators at work. Conspirators, people are conspiring for this. They want this to be done. They want this guy to do. They gave him advance money beforehand. So come on, man, write this book. It's a grand idea that now you can slaughter the Muslims with filth. I said he spares nobody. Even my Hindu cousins. My ancestors were Hindus. I come from Bombay, India. My ancestors were Gujarati Hindus. I'm thanking Rajiv Gandhi. We all Muslims, we must thank Rajiv Gandhi for banning the book. But I'm telling him in my little booklet, I says, Rajiv, you have done yourself a great favor. I will not attribute motives to him. Oh, he wants to curry favor with the Muslim voters. No, don't do that. If a man has done a good deed, acknowledge it. Rajiv, I thank you for what you have done. Thank you very much. But this is the benefit of a good act. If you do something good, the benefits, the rewards are so much greater. You are actually helping yourself. I said, you have done yourself a great favor by banning the book. Because in that book, maybe he didn't know, maybe the Hindus don't know that he hasn't spared the gods of the Hindus. He hasn't spared the gods. On page 539, he says, a direct quote I'm giving you now. Here was a lecherous, drunken Rama, the god of the Hindus. Rama is the seventh incarnation of God, according to Hindu philosophy. Krishna is the eighth incarnation of God. Buddha, the ninth incarnation of God. Rama, here he calls him lecherous, obsessed with sex, drunken, alcoholic. Rama, and a flighty Sita, his wife, worshipped by millions of Hindus as a goddess. She is a flighty woman. Flighty doesn't mean flying away from sexual approaches. Flighty means one who is easily excited, easily aroused sexually, like a bitch in season, randy. This is what he's saying, flighty. Go and look up your dictionary at home. Flighty. Flighty doesn't mean flying away, flying into illicit sex. And while Ravana, the demon king, was depicted as an upright and honest man. The devil is an upright and honest man. The gods of the Hindus, he is a lecherous debaucher and drunkard. And his wife is a whore, harlot. That's what he's implying. Jibreel, that's Rushdie. Now he's taking the role of Jibreel. He's Jibreel. Gabriel. Jibreel is playing Ravana. He plays the part of the demon king, but as a saint. The saint he makes into a devil, and the devil he makes into a saint, and he takes the role of the devil becoming a saint. George explained in fascinated horror, looks like he's trying deliberately to set up a final confrontation with the religious sectarians, knowing he can't win. Look, he's writing, Rushdie is writing this. A prophecy about himself that, look, he's doing this. He's trying to create a play within a play, a dream within a dream, so he can get away with this. I was only dreaming. You know, when he had sex with the queen, he was only dreaming. He didn't literally do it. That's how these perverts will say, look, he was only dreaming. I said, you khabis, when he wrote it, he wasn't dreaming, was he? So it's a dream within a dream. So he said, look, it was a dream. This guy dreamt and that other one dreamt, let to other dreams. He says, a final confrontation with the sectarians, knowing he can't win, that hell he'll be broken to bits. Page 539. That he will be broken to bits. My dear brothers and sisters, the problems generated by this satanic verses in his notorious book are too vast for any one person to handle. Please, let me conclude that if such are the priests, these are the priests, the prophets of these atheist and agnostic people, these are their gods. If such are the priests, like Rushdie and his fellow travelers, with the Bible like the satanic verses, God bless the congregation. And if such is the congregation, then God bless our queen. God save the queen.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We're most grateful to Sheikh Ahmed Deedat for presenting his views and analysis of the Satanic verses. Jazakallah khair. It has been truly enlightening. How Rushdie fooled the West. How true. Weren't we all fooled? We shall begin the question and answer segment of this program shortly. At this time, I would like to invite those members of the audience who would like to ask questions to Sheikh Deedat on the topic to form an orderly queue behind the microphone, which has been specially provided for your use. If we could come down the right aisle to form the queue, and then after you have finished your question and the question has been answered, if you could leave through the center aisle.
Identify themselves. They can identify themselves.
While you are forming the queue, it is essential that the following guidelines be strictly adhered to, so I would like to fill you in. This will avoid the chairman having to interrupt the questioner. This is a question time, not an opportunity for you to make a speech. If you want to make a speech, then I suggest you hire a hall, such as Sheikh Deedat has done today, the Royal Albert Hall, and he has graciously consented to entertain your questions. Please, only one question per visit to the microphone. If you have further questions, please just go down the center aisle and take your place at the back of the queue again. So this way, more people have an opportunity to ask questions, and as well, we get a broad range of questions. Please do not interrupt the answer. Ask your question and be respectful enough to listen to the answer. This is not a debate. Finally, please keep your questions succinct and related to the topic of today's lecture, how Rushdie fooled the West. It is not fair to the speaker or to the rest of the audience to ask a question on another topic. There are many tapes which you can purchase after this question segment which will deal with all of the other topics. There are approximately 65 tapes. If you could see Brother Shamshad, I'm sure that he could help to fill any needs that you might have to get any of the videotapes.
They can identify themselves and ask.
And also, if you would please, before asking your question, identify yourself and then proceed to ask your question. Okay. I think then we're ready for the first question. If you could please, sir, identify yourself and ask your question.
Assalamu alaikum. Wahib Hassan, a student. Just like to ask, should Rushdie die?
My son, are you British? Are you British? Huh? Yes. You are a Britisher. Now, if you are a Britisher, you see, I said, how Rushdie fooled the West. You are one of those. And if he did to your queen, if he did to your ruler, Mrs. Thatcher, what Rushdie did, I want to know from you, what would you do? What you would do. I want to know, if you are a Britisher, if you are a loyal citizen of this country, I want to know from you, what would you be doing?
Incidentally, the topic of should Rushdie die really is a separate topic, and there is a video cassette. It's Should Rushdie Die? The Islamic Verdict, which also is available outside. The next questioner, please.
I would like to ask that whether satanic verses can be an insult only against Islam, or it is an insult against all religions, including Christianity and Judaism. And if yes, is it not a good idea to ask the leading figures among Christians and Jews to express their views, whether they agree with the content of this book or not, because I personally believe it is not insult against only Islam. It is insult against all religions, including Christianity, Judaism, and Hindu religion. And the second thing I wanted to ask, because I or other people here might have the wrong impression that you are a supporter of any political figure, could you also clarify that point?
Could you repeat the second part of your question, please?
I or other people might have the impression that you are personally a supporter of certain political figures in this country. Please clarify also that point. Thank you.
The second question first. I have no affiliation with any political parties or any religious groups. I'm a Muslim, and I stand here as a Muslim and I speak as a Muslim. With regards to the first question, you see, when I said how he took the West, more specifically tonight, the British, for a ride. Now the British, you can't say the British are only Christians. My Muslim brothers say they are British. The Jews in this country say they are British. The atheists say they are British. So I said, look, everybody is involved. You don't have to carry any religious label, affiliation, to specifically address you. He says, now look, you as a Jew, you know, you are being attacked. You as a Christian are being attacked. I said the whole of humanity, or the whites in general, and we Muslims in particular, everybody is attacked. So we don't have to start separating. I said, now where is your stand? You as a Britisher, whether you are an atheist or a Muslim or whatever you are. If you are a Britisher, you live in this country, you have been enjoying the benefits of this land, I want to know what is your stand? What must you do? And I told you, I spelled it out for you. The thing we have to do is to educate the people about the book. When he opens his mouth, Rushdie, so come, let us talk. This is what I'm suggesting, that you call the people for a dialogue. Sit down, man. Give him a cup of tea. Give him your bhajjas and samosas. I don't know whether you understand that. You see, you ask the Pakistani what I'm talking about. You know, I don't know whether you are from Iran or from where, what the bhajjas and samosas, whether you understand. But our bhajjas and samosas will do the trick. Give it to the guy. Give it to the guy and talk to him. Inshallah.
I 100% agree with what you say, and I think it's a very good idea that in rational debate it's pointed out that this book is insult against all the religion, not only Islam.
The whole of humanity, the whole of humanity.
Could we have the next questioner, please? Would you identify yourself, please?
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Khalil. I am British. We say Rushdie how he fooled the West. But so far, you know, Mr. Deedat mentioned he's a genius. To me, my judgment after what I've heard from you, he's an idiot. But countries that back him, he has been insulting to so many religions, Hindu, Christian, white, and so on. Now, for them to back him, back the book, what would you call those people who support him to let the books go on? Me, as a Muslim, I say he should be banned from writing. Because he has caused...
The thing is now, you educate the people in power. I said they will do the rest. If you had shown to Maggie what he says about Maggie, you didn't do it. You didn't do it. You didn't tell the people, he said, look how he's abusing our queen. Did you? Anybody did it? Did anybody go and tell the people, say, look what he's doing to our queen?
They are tolerant in this country. This is the problem. They are tolerant. They can accept, like we say, the Iron Lady.
There isn't a Britisher you can go and tell him that he's the son of a bitch. You go and tell him and see how tolerant he is to you.